Karan, hey, it's so good to have you on with us over here. Thank you for taking time. How are you today? How are things going in your neck of the woods?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Kanan, for having me on. It's always a pleasure, man. Everything is going on good here in Ohio, man. Everything going on good. It's
Oh,
pretty
good.
cold out here, though. I can warn you, it's pretty cold right now.
Love some cold weather. Love some cold weather. Well, hey, we're
Absolutely.
gonna jump right into it. It's like, hey, I know our listeners, they want some of that sauce. They want to know what's going on. So, hey, I just want to go through some questions with you here for
Absolutely.
e-commerce, man. So you're considered like the whiz of e-commerce, right? I mean, there's pretty much you've been through it all, thick and thin. Give us some
Everything, man.
background, man. Give us some background.
Absolutely, man. For all who don't know me, I'm Karen Makala, also known as O7, as you can see it on the t-shirt. Um, Came all the way from Jamaica, with a backpack and a dream, and came to America. And I was just grinding, grinding, grinding. And one day I stumbled upon e-commerce and I decide I'm gonna take a shot at it. Long story short, I start making money the first month. So, and there's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I'm gonna break it down in this video for y'all.
For sure. No, no, that's awesome. The American dream, essentially, you came here and you found a lot of success just from the get-go. What are three things for new e-commerce owners that they shouldn't not do as they're getting into the industry?
Three things they should not do. Number one, you cannot listen to everybody, right? Because everybody have their own way of doing things. Some people may give you valid information, some people may not. So I would say just make sure you vet who you taking information from, and don't just go to any random person. That would be the number one. Number two, whenever you choose a winning product, please do not try to pick 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different products, because what you're gonna do is confuse yourself in the game. And number three, I would say once you pick your product and your niche, you got to zoom on it and slowly grow. But do not just throw all your money at once at it, because you got to test, right? You got to go through a testing phase. So when I just launched, quick story, when I just launched, I didn't go guns blazing. What I'll do is I'll put out the product out there and put out like an ad for the product and slowly test it and see what works. And I tried a couple times, didn't get any result. So I, flip it. But because I didn't put a lot of money into it, so I'll be able to try a different strategy until it works. So I would say do not just throw all type of money at something without test it first.
Awesome. Awesome. No, no, good advice. So a question I'm asked a lot is how old do you have to be to start an e-commerce store? I run
Uh,
across sometimes I'm getting calls and, 13-year-olds, man. So what is the set age would you say to start?
I mean, the set age is usually be like 18 years old, right? Because for you to get a Shopify account, you're gonna need an EIN number in the long run and an LLC once you hit 20,000. And for you to get those stuff, you gotta be 18 years old, unless you got a parental guide that set it up for you and want to help you along the way. That's a whole different story. But 18 years old is the perfect age right there.
18. Got you, got you. And how important to you would you say are systems? So, because these things they kind of fall consecutively. So you start a store and you think, oh, great, I've started it. But then from there, how important is it to have the right systems in place? And maybe you can name one or two of them that you had the greatest success with.
Okay, so for me, I think system is the only way. It's the best way if you want to scale, right? For example, if you put out an ad, if you put out certain type of content and you don't have a system to replicate it, it's hard for you to replicate success, right? And you don't want to put all the energy and concentrate all the energy in the wrong place, right? With systems don't have emotions. So therefore, once you put system in place, all you got to do is implement in the system, and whatever you put in, you get the output. So you got to make sure you put in the right thing in the system. And the most important thing is very duplicatable. You can duplicate it easy, and you can do it over and over, and that's the best way to scale. For example, quick backstory. I wanted to scale to a certain level, but I was getting burned out trying to do everything by myself. But then I realized I can set up a system that collects emails and then shoot them up on an automated basis. And however you want to set it, daily, weekly, monthly, and it will follow up on customers for you. So that saves you a ton of time.
Perfect. No, that's amazing. And would you say that those systems that you've implemented have been the number one reason or level of your success?
Absolutely. The systems, once you put those in place, as I mentioned before, all you got to do is implement and the system will take care of it, because there's certain things that we won't be able to do or we won't be able to catch. But once you have the system, there's no emotion involved. So it's going to do what it's programmed to do. And long as it has the right programming, everything will take care of itself.
Awesome. Awesome. Worst personal experience that you've had in the e-com industry, and how did you cope with it?
Man, good question, man. I dealt with a lot of situation, but this one I must say personally is when my merchant account was removed by Shopify, and I did not know. The merchant account being removed is not the problem. It's did not know why and how to fix it, right? So I'm gonna give you a quick example of what I mean. When my merchant account got removed, I didn't know why. I was scrambling, I was searching, I was Googling, I was YouTubing, like, hey, how do I get my merchant account and stuff like that. So what I come to realize was when at the time when I stopped running promo and I paused for a little bit and one or two chargebacks come in, what I didn't understand is the merchants have certain percentage of chargebacks. Like let's use 2% for this example. If you stop running the business for a little bit and you get 2 chargebacks for the week and you didn't sell for that week, then it will look like you have a high percentage of chargeback. So what you want to do is always have your business running. So once I know that, the solution for that for me is always have more than one merchant account.
Wow. Wow. How many people have you come across that's been like a stuck point for them where they've had it, they don't know where to turn, they don't know what to do?
Oh, I thought it was me at first. I thought there was not a huge problem with it, but I thought it was me at first. But then I came across a lot of people. People hit me up like, "Oh, Seven man, I'm going through this. What should I do?" And I jump on a Zoom call with them. We chop it up, and they were good from there. But it's a common problem, and there's a lot of ways to get around that and prevent it, because prevention is better than cure, right? I also know how to prevent stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's incredible. So when someone comes to you, let's say from a start out position, and they ask you, "Hey, what are my options for selling products online? What should I go with?" What is your 2 things that you would recommend or you would tell them that they should be selling in the industry?
Okay, yeah, good question. So the first thing you want to do is see what industry is booming, right? Because we know e-commerce is one of the biggest thing right now. You know, the retailer, the brick and mortar, they're going out of business, right? So there's few questions I like to ask when they say, "Hey, can I do beauty products?" The first thing I ask them, because beauty products is in one of the top tier to be sold, I say, can you market it? Does it fit your personality? How do you feel about posting about this stuff? Can you resonate with it? Can you relate to your customer? And if the answer is no, I would tell you to go for something different and just say, your personality doesn't go with whatever you chose, what you can do is have somebody for the face of the brand. And what I mean by that, because we do faceless brand, right? When I say have somebody for the face of the brand, you can have somebody who's doing the post, who is doing like the caption. A matter of fact, you can jump in AI and they can do all of that. So one of the ways how to get that done is you can use AI tools and kind of teach the AI tool how to speak for you and keep the same tone around the brand. So that way your customer can relate to you. They can feel you through the branding and the promotion.
Mhm. Wow, wow. So when it comes down to it, do you recommend faceless or a faced brand? What, if I'm coming into this new, what do you recommend? What does the best and has the best results?
As far as I see it, the faceless brand is one of the best one to get in. I feel like, not feel like, I know it's the best thing because I've seen it work over and over by a lot of people who I work with and clients that I have, and also for me, right? And what you kind of avoid is people, a lot of people, when they don't know who is behind the screen, they're not judging, right? So, for example, I may show my face, hey, you like my product, but you think you don't like me. So, because you don't like me personally, you're not buying from me. So, to avoid all of that stuff, it's just easier to do the faceless and just making sure your brand are credible and making sure it's on Google to every search, just make sure your brand is out there.
Awesome. Wow, wow. How would you say your experience transfers through product lines when it comes to e-commerce? So, I have people that come to me and they're like, "Hey, I want to do a clothesline and they want to start selling t-shirts." How would you say, because you come from the supplements background, right? Supplements and beauty.
Absolutely.
So how does your experience transfer across all industries, would you say?
Good question. So, I mean, the whole concept never changed. Like the underlying never changes, right? So, I came from the supplements. So, I got the blueprint, right? Maybe the product changed, but the blueprint itself never changed. But at the end of the day, if you go into something like clothing, right? So, you're dealing with branding. So, ask yourself this question: why would somebody buy a '07 shirt and over Nike, right? Branding. So you got to find a different way how to reach your niche because you're not Nike. So get some influencer to wear your clothing that have influence. It may cost 50 to a couple of hundred. Get some people online who can push your product because remember, there's a lot of t-shirt or clothing to choose from. And why should I choose '07 over Nike? Why? Because I got your favorite athlete wearing my shirt. I got your favorite influencer on IG wearing my shirt.
No.
So now you understand that, and influence go a long way.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I got to get me one of those shirts, man. I love the '07 logo and what
Got
you
to get
guys
one.
do at '07 cat. I got to get me one. I got to get me one. Last
Absolutely.
question. I know your time is valuable, so it's like I got one more question for you. In the
Absolutely.
industry, how typical is it for people to get scammed in the industry? And is it a big thing? Should people, as they're getting in e-commerce, should they be worried about it?
Whoa, man, that's a touchy topic, man. People get scammed every day, man. Left, right. So the thing is, once people are in a, I wouldn't call it desperate situation, but they're more hungry for it. So they kind of open up to everything and anything, right? So it's typical for people to get scammed. So what you want to do, as I mentioned, you wanna vet who you're working with. You wanna check for authenticity, right? And you wanna make sure that person who's doing it, it's not some outdated stuff they're using. Like you can't use 2016, 2017 information in 2025, right? Some of the groundwork doesn't change, right? But the way you market, the way you do everything, is different. So if that individual is not currently doing it, are currently in the market himself, and the information is updated, then you can tell that time is passed by. And at that point, they're just trying to sell some stuff. So that's one of the way how to really see what's going on. They got to be able to provide updated information as they go, not 10 years ago, not 15 years ago, updated information.
Wow. Wow. No, that's incredible. Is there anything you would like to tell our viewers, in this room right now, in addition, before we jump off here?
Oh, so number one thing, don't be afraid to start anything, right? And even if you are afraid, don't let that be the factor or the thing that's gonna cripple you from going forward. Feeling fear is just a sign that you're going the right way, right? They call it the fear of the unknown. But guess what's on the other side of unknown? The dream life that you wanted, right? So therefore, don't let fear stop you. A matter of fact, I would say whenever you feel fearful, it's an indication that you're on the right path.
Wow. Wow. No, that's incredible. And where can people find you? I mean, your Euro 7 Academy, I mean, it's huge. You help tons of people. Where can people go to find you?
They can find me on YouTube at O7 Academy and also on IG K Makala 07. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Perfect. And we'll leave it down in the caption below for direct content. Thank you so much for spending time here today, explaining, going through this. Until next time.
All right, see you, man. You gotta go jump on another call. It's a busy night, but it was good chatting with you, man. I'll see you on the other side.
For sure. For sure.